Hello, everybody. Welcome
Yes!
to the new summer update of Best of 5. Unfortunately, for those of you that are listening, you will not notice much of a difference. I do apologize. However, if you're here with us on the Twitch, let me just run you through what we have now. First, these over here are all the topics we're going to be talking today, and you can follow along with the show by watching this overlay, because it's going to change throughout the show. And all the way down there is a ticker with information that is running in real time. So we are now that much closer to becoming a Sports Center. So congratulations to Best of 5 for becoming Sports Center.
Thank you. Just someone throw things at me if I start referring to Justin Wong as a very dear friend of mine.
I laughed. So welcome to the new Best of 5. Well, anyway, my name is Ilan. You can follow me at ILAN121 on the Twitters. And this is Steve, the main squeeze, at Ace King Offsuit Jurek. You can follow him at Ace King Offsuit Jurek. We're going to give you guys a show today. We just saw the Street Fighter V Summer update. That's cool and all. And first of all, actually, before we even get started, thank you, Capcom, for doing the summer update right before our show. I'm not too much of a fan that it went a little bit over, but that's okay. You know, we'll take the wins when we can get them, because now we get to talk about it during the show. We're the first people talking about the summer update. You heard it here first.
We're not counting all the people on Twitter or all the people who live stream.
No,
they don't count. This is where it starts.
We count.
As far as you're concerned, this is where it ends.
Yes.
We are the definitive take.
Yes.
The definitive take.
Yeah.
Because we are Sports Center, we have a ticker.
That
means everything.
You see that? North America, 1,175 entrants. Huh? Nobody else has a ticker. Anyway, let's get to our first topic. Boom! The weekend recap. Steve, I think it's time you hit us with the weekend recap, is it not?
It is. We had a couple of big events take place this past weekend. CPT in action once again, this time in a little bit specific part of Europe. This was only open to France, Spain, and Portugal. You wouldn't be able to tell that Portugal was involved if you looked at the top 8. You could barely tell that Spain was involved. France taking 7 of the top 8 spots. The most important spot as far as Capcom Cup qualification is concerned went to Mr. Crimson. 3-2 and 3-2 coming back from the loser's bracket over Luffy to punch his ticket to Capcom Cup. Tough break for Luffy, but he will have another chance later this season. Vega Patch doing well to carry the flag for Spain, finishing 3rd. Kills you rounding out the top 4. We also had and I wish Sharpie was able to pop in for this, because we had the Summer Blockbuster for the Skullgirls Championship Series. The series that Sharpie is involved in. A lot of great action to be had there. SonicFox, your winner in the Summer Blockbuster, fell a little short in the spring event, but this time around gets the job done. Holds off Triviality in the grand final. Toughest challenge, though, was to Killsage. Killsage made it. That went to the final game in Winner's Final. It was 3-2 to SonicFox there. He only dropped 2 other games the entire tournament. Or they did. Excuse me. I apologize. They only dropped 2 games the entire tournament.
Wow.
2 other games, I should say. So, very strong performance from SonicFox. To Killsage and PME rounding out the top 4. Cloud finishing tied for 5th, but that is good enough to maintain his spot atop the Championship Series leaderboard for now. So that is all that took place this week. The big story, though, Yes.
What's the big story, Steve?
For next week, as you see down below, perfectly timed on the ticker, Evo is this coming week 1 of 2. You have, if you're looking for Guilty Gear Strive, you'll see Latin America and European action this weekend. Street Fighter V will feature Europe and North America. You see the full list of games down below. They have not announced a stream schedule yet for Friday for week 1 or for week 2. And I am wondering if those are going to be officially streamed. I'm still working on getting information from that, but you can follow me on Twitter, juke.gg as well, for the full schedule once it is confirmed.
For sure. Steve, thank you for the recap as always. Always good to have a weekend recap. Or maybe we should call it a weekly recap. Anyway, that's stuff that we'll talk about in future behind closed doors. But speaking of closed doors, doors were open today via the Capcom overlords as they gave us their summer update. Hey, you like that? Sorry.
New look, same swear jar.
Yep. So we literally just finished watching the Street Fighter V Summer update, and Steve, it was a little wacky, in a good way.
It was a lot wacky.
Yep.
There's a lot to take in.
Sure. So let's start from the top. First of all, even before the update happened, we saw that the summer update was exclusive to Twitch, which is something we have not seen in a couple of years because Capcom was streaming on YouTube and on Facebook for the past couple of years. But before that, they were Twitch exclusive, and now they are Twitch exclusive again. Or are they? We don't know. We just know that this event specifically happened. And Steve, we talked about a little bit about this, but I kind of liked it when it was just a developer update instead of like a Twitch gaming show. No disrespect to Tasty Steve. No disrespect to Vicious. I love both of those guys. They're amazing people. But I feel like that was a 45-minute show that took an hour and a half.
You got to keep in mind that this isn't, especially this time around, it wasn't just for Street Fighter fans. They had a couple other things to announce, namely an audience for another game, which we'll get to.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I'm kidding.
But so you gotta, if it was just for us, yeah, I would expect more of a boom, boom, boom. Here you go. Thank you, goodbye. Because you have that other audience, you kind of needed someone to sort of explain, I guess, why this was, what you saw was so cool or so good. So I'm fine with it. I do wish it was a little shorter so that we could, start on time and not have to compete with them. That's just personal, though. But it didn't bother me as much as it might have bothered some other people.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those things where I just saw the thing. I didn't need a recap of it. But maybe that's just me. Maybe my brain works differently, and that's perfectly fine. I'm also not saying it was a bad show at all. I think Tasty Steve and Vicious did an amazing job hyping everybody up. Steve is the best at making people make noise. He asks, and the people giveth. And all the announcements were also pretty amazing. So let's get into those. First, we're going to get into the best one first, and then we'll work from there. Family Man is now a Twitch emote. And as you could guess, after Family Man became a Twitch emote, both Guile and Cammy are now in Fortnite. And I have to say, this is the most British, the most English that Cammy has ever looked.
See, you're looking at Cammy. I can't take my eyes off of the mutton chops
Oh
that
yeah, he's got a
Guile
little
has started.
scruff.
It's not even the scruff. It's just the shape of the scruff. It looks like he's wearing double V's on his cheek, like someone just painted
I need to fix that.
V.
Uh,
V.
well, I mean, he is in Street Fighter V, and speaking of V, somebody who doesn't have a V in their name is named Kwanzai, and they've resubscribed for 44 months now. That's a ton of time. Thank you, Kwanzai, for the big resub. What there's? Go ahead, Steve. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, Blue corrected me in chat. When I was looking at the bracket, I was looking at just the winner side. I thought it was the grand final, but Subatomic Sabers and Wasi Was are actually in grand final right now. Wasi Was just reset the bracket, so
Cool.
So
Don't go
I
watch
will
that now.
follow up
Stay
on-
here.
yeah. Record that.
Put the DVR.
Watch
on.
us now.
Set the VCR to record. All right. I said DVR, but I wanted to do the VCR joke. All right. Anyway, let's go back to
Make
this.
sure you don't set up ELP so that you don't have to deal with tracking issues.
Yep, and always
Just pro tip.
remember to rewind the tape, or else you're screwed. All right.
That's how you got to be kind.
Yep. And let's rewind to this graphic real quick. There's a lot of interesting details here. First, Cammy's wearing pants. Finally. It's about time. Second, everybody noticed Guile has handcuffs? Guile has handcuffs. When's the last time Guile had handcuffs in his costume? In his costume, I can tell you that the answer is never. But the last time Guile had handcuffs was in Street Fighter 2 because of the handcuff glitch. So big ups to whoever's designing these characters, giving such ridiculously meticulous details and very obscure references for everybody involved. So big ups to them. And I can only hope that the handcuff glitch is back in Fortnite so that Guile can handcuff people. That's my dream.
The hair is looking extra crispy, I must say. Yeah. And by extra crispy, it looks like some McDonald's fries straight out of the fryer.
It is French fry hair. And it's crazy because we all
in bricks.
Yeah, we all complained about Ken French fry hair, but I think this French fry hair takes the French fry cake.
It does. It actually, now that you mentioned it, it looks like fondant. It looks like cake meant to look as French fries.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So that was a big announcement. So now, alongside Ryu and Chun-Li, Cammy and Guile can now smile in Fortnite and shoot people. And I don't know if you noticed, but when they were showing off, we unfortunately don't have the clip, but when they were showing off some of these characters, they have Guile doing the somersault, like he has a flash kick, it's pretty cool, and Cammy has her spiral cannon, and they did this in an area that looked exactly like the Street Fighter 2 airport stage with the battle bus in the background. It was pretty neat, pretty cool.
Which is one of the best stages of all time.
Absolutely. Agreed.
At least
100%.
in the 2D category.
Yes, for sure. Now, let's get into the next tier. Well, actually, we're going down. I said we're starting with most exciting first. So this is the second tier of excitement. They announced the big characters. Oro and Akira, whatever you want to call her. I don't know. Bam! Available August 16th. And here's all the content in the premium pass. It's interesting how Akira has 5 costumes. Oro only has 3. I feel like he got a little bit. But yeah, this is big.
The lack of a summer costume makes me so sad.
For Oro?
See how sad I am?
Wait, hold on.
See. This is how sad I am.
I was trying to be sad, but I keep wanting to smile.
I am devastated.
No, but I agree. Did Oro get a summer costume? Hold up.
No.
He has a story costume and a battle costume. Who said that? Blue, get out of here.
And then he's got the tracksuit costume.
He does have
which
the tracksuit.
everybody's got the tracksuit costume that you saw in the Intel World Open, the Olympic flavored costumes there.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to see Oro in a banana hammock. And unfortunately, we don't get that.
I mean, there were a couple frames where you could actually see Oro banana back in thirds.
Yeah. All right. Well, getting away from the bananas, let's talk about what we did see because they broke down a lot of the information for both of these characters. So Oro, of course, his V system, his number or V skill 1 is the Onibi, which is the it's basically like the Dawson ball, except it's a V skill. It looks pretty neat. It's I think it was a super in third strike if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong because I sound like an asshole if I'm wrong. Sorry, Steve. And it looks almost exactly like Dawson's Fireball 2 minus the gravity. So that's interesting. V skill 2 is like a weird dash cancel. So that looks cool. Look forward to that. V trigger 1 gives him command grabs. V trigger 2 gives him the Tengu stones. So,
and it looks like you can combo into the grabs too.
Yep. Combos are grabbable, much like every other like V skill or V trigger command throw. You can combo into them, and it looks like you do a lot of damage with them too. It's pretty wacky. The crazy thing about Oro is how it looks like he plays almost exactly like Third Strike. Like he just looks like he is doing the same things he would do in Third Strike, where you would try to, I'm saying this sentence to fill in air because I am pulling something up. It looks almost exactly like Third Strike, where you would jump, use his wacky double jump to bait anti-airs, and then punish the baited anti-airs. It's pretty interesting. It does look pretty cool. We actually have some footage of it right here that I was not pulling up just now. Anyway, here it is.
You had that good to go.
Yeah. See, here's his V trigger, or V skill rather. Let's go ahead and skip to some match footage, shall we? Because they also showed us some match footage. There it is. This is actual. And you know what? It's funny. When we watch this during the summer update, you can tell that the people playing actually know how to play. It's not like, two people or two developers who made the game are, just mashing buttons. Like, this is an actual, pretty high-level battle going on. Look at all this shenanigans, huh? I like I like how the ticker just covers exactly their feet. It's pretty neat. I enjoyed that. And there you go. And it moves fast. Like, all the stuff there moved really fast. So, if you want to go look at some wacky Oro stuff, please go look at some wacky Oro stuff in the Capcom Fighters YouTube. I'm sure they have all this stuff uploaded at this point. Any thoughts on Oro, Steve?
Oro, I'm not sure what to think. He looks like he could be middle of the road, honestly. It just feels like he's going to catch some people out at first, but I don't necessarily think he's going to be super strong once things settle in. Now, I could absolutely be wrong about that. And I hope I am, honestly, because he looks pretty cool to watch. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just have that feeling.
Well, we can find out in 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks?
2 weeks. I think the character looks pretty cool. I think he's got a lot of really cool tools, and it feels like fun stuff is allowed again in the world of Street Fighter, right? I mean, that it still remains to be seen, right? But there's a lot of really cool combo extensions and a lot of really cool things you might be able to do with that V skill 1. The Tengu stones look like just crazy combo extenders that look really fun. So we'll see when he comes out. Now, the other thing that happened, the other thing they showed off was Akira, where they showed off all of her V triggers and V skills. So now I ran into an ad while I was watching and I got pissed. So I had to watch an ad. So I think I missed her V skill 2, but her V skill 1 essentially is just a special moves enhancer. I think her V skill 2 is the air burst is what it's called. Where like they do the rival schools shoot up into the sky thing. Yeah, V skill 2 is the launcher. Thank you, Ryo Ayanami. Got it.
That's the one that, you know, I've said before that what I really like is that, you know, especially the later seasons, the staff has just been more willing to go a little wacky with the characters and, you know, giving her that air rush. You know, she's got air combos now. It just, I love to see it. You know, the rest of her tools actually look pretty good too. I think she's going to end up pretty strong. I really, really do.
For sure. And it's interesting because I think we're getting into a pattern with all these V skills and V triggers, right? Where, much like Rose, you have one V skill that was the buff or the nerf or the debuff rather. That was one of her V skills, and then the other one was a soul satellite. In this one is a buff to her specials, and the other one is the airburst. So I think this is there's a very interesting pattern developing here, and it's both and it's with how you play the character, and I think it's more evident in these later seasons, like you were saying, Steve. Like they're really like getting their own identity. It's like, oh, you play a character this way with this V skill, and you play a character this way with this V skill. Not like, oh, you play a character this way and this V skill is better, right? And I think that's kind of what they were aiming for in the past, but they never quite got there. I think they're doing a much better job of this now. Let's talk about her V triggers, if you would. V trigger 1 is she calls Daigo Umehara.
Very reminiscent to Armika. Sorry, I just updated some info. By the way, update on the DBFZ tournament. Was actually ran it all the way back. So,
Breaking news.
Premature congratulations there. Congratulations to Was for winning that 1,100 plus person tournament.
Hell yeah. Good job to Was. And good commentators, curse, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about Daigo. So she calls Daigo her brother, and he shows up. Oh, apparently she is punishable, but Daigo can still hit. Daigo can still hit you, though. So the second hit happens whether she gets hit or not. That's pretty interesting. You can get some wacky Oki off of it. Oh, yeah, and she's got those weird spin kicks. It reminds me of, like, Ibuki spin kicks. But look at this shenanigans, huh?
It's got a couple different variations of those kicks, too. So,
yeah. Now let's talk about her V Trigger 2, which I almost missed. So this V Trigger 2, it kind of reminds me of Ganejin, but I think it's slightly different. Right? I think it reminds me of Ganejin just because you got the after image shenanigans, blah, 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 blah. Kazuma's pronounced Umehara. Yes, exactly. This is what her new V Trigger 2 looks like. And by new, I mean her V Trigger 2. And activating it will put her in a unique stance. And each follow-up has a unique attribute. You can use it to inflict damage. This looks really interesting. It's like a stance cancel. Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they both had sort of Ganejin-esque moves, because Oro had the objects that effectively were, you know, they were very similar. And you had the option of doing either 3 or 5 items, depending on whether you press down or not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like a this is the combo extension V trigger. The other one is the utility V trigger. Although I guess with Oro, I guess both of them are combo extenders depending on how you use them. But yeah. And then of course we got to see a little bit of the high level play. So this is what it looks like. Also, I'm gonna turn this up just because the soundtrack is amazing. There's that Cap Jam band, which we're gonna talk about in just a sec. Look at that damage. Even for a V-trigger cancel, that's some pretty decent damage. Oh, there's Daigo. So one thing the developers did note is that she is a very beginner-friendly character because her moves are very straightforward. Oh, and here's the Rival Schools theme. Boom! Yeah, we're not gonna watch another one. I'm sorry, guys. We don't have enough time to watch all the high-level play. Although I really want to. I am gonna watch that again after a little while. But yeah. So there is Akira. And again, the big surprise of the show was that she is coming out along with Oro on the 16th. So that's going to be tons of fun. The 16th is going to be a big day for Street Fighter V. Yeah. Just like it says on the ticker.
Yeah.
Huh?
They also said that they were going to release some more content on that day, including an update to tournament mode.
Right. Yeah, so new tournament mode they announced is probably, I think the big thing they said is that it's going to be easier to use. I've never used it myself, so I don't know what the differences are, but it looks neat.
I wonder if once that hits, you'll see any sort of push to run online tournaments through that as opposed to through something like Smash GG or something along those lines. At least for Capcom tournaments.
Right. I'd be curious to see like what the limits of it are. Like if there's like a 100-man bracket or a 128-man bracket, do you think they can run it off of that? I'd be impressed if they did. But yeah, so new tournament modes coming out. One thing I really enjoyed about the summer update is that I love that they keep showing like peeks behind the curtains of certain departments with every one of these updates, right? Like, for example, last time they showed us the mocap stuff they were doing for Rose. This time they showed us the music side, or the audio side, rather, along with the new audio director. And most of the stuff they were doing was super, super cool and super, super impressive. Like, the fact that they do all of their sound effects in-house, or at least most of them, rather. They showed us a lot of, like, them rubbing clothing together and like hitting sticks together to make sound. It was really cool. And they went in a little bit into detail about how the music is being approached. And what I find amazing, and it's really, I think, what really has been setting the soundtrack of Street Fighter V apart since this started happening, because it did not start that way, is they're making all the music danceable, right? Like, that's how they were approaching it. They have an actual band off of all of the audio department people at Capcom called Cap Jam. And their whole thing is they're redoing a lot of music so that you can dance to it. And it's amazing. On top of that, even, the thing that I think I found the most impressive is when they noted that when they record, it's all recorded live. It's not synth. It's not like one person records in a booth one at a time. No, they actually perform it live and then they put it in the game. I think that's amazing.
That's pretty cool. I will say, though, like the danceable aspect, pretty much all the Street Fighter 4 stuff was danceable. And that was sort of the big knock on it, was like it all sounded straight out of a club. Like, especially like Ken's music.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if danceable is the reason it just hits a little different this time around. I do think they've done a pretty good job with most themes.
Well, you can tell.
We're going to ignore Jury's theme. We're going to just push that to the side.
Well, here's the thing.
Exist.
You can tell when this new crew took over, and it was season 3. That's like the big difference between how the music was, where it was like it sounded like it was one person with a synth keyboard in their garage and a guitar maybe, to a whole group that like is super passionate about music, right? And you know what? I'm with Crimson Wander here. Jury's theme does grow on you after a while.
Like a fungus.
Sure.
It's just sort of there and you can't get rid of it. It's...
Yeah, I mean, if you say so.
It has not grown on me. It has not grown on me. I'll say that much.
Right place, right time. Right place, right time. Fighting game, not right place, right time. But with all that said, all the new music has been really fantastic. So it's really cool that they got their quote-unquote moment to shine so that we can see a little bit of what they do. And it's super duper interesting, and I really enjoy that. I hope they do more of that for future updates. Finally... Oh, also something we wanted to... Oh, wait, no, we did mention the Twitch exclusivity thing. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But I think the whole, like, recording it live thing is... I think the whole recording it live thing is super, super big. So, big ups to them. And then the big surprise at the end, right? We all knew it was coming because they've been following this pattern. And I'm saying this one sentence here so that I can fast forward to where the trailer is. And then I'm going to hit play because this is when they're setting it up. There it is. So... Oh, wait, is he... Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, so Luke... So, sorry, spoiler alert. The character's name is Luke. There he is.
I was thinking either Luke Paul or Soy Gat.
Did the... Oh, okay. Let's watch the trailer again. Anyway, there we go. I want to put this trailer up again because I want to see more of this. But what I meant is, like, yes, he... Wait, who does he look like, Steve? What did you say?
Luke Paul. He looks like either the third Paul brother. Seriously,
You're not wrong.
Go back to the, like, where he just comes in and frees the frame. Right there. Right
hold on,
there.
I tried. Damn it. Hold on, this is difficult. Because we don't have this trailer downloaded, of course, because...
It literally aired like 2 minutes before we were going live.
Okay, I'm gonna get the freeze frame for you, Steve. I missed it. Wait for it. There you go.
Like, come on. This guy is trying to find some YouTubers to box right now. Like, as soon as he's done with Ryu, he is calling up KSI. He's calling up the React guys.
He's gonna call out Ben Askren, get the sloppy seconds.
He's gonna call out like anyone he can find. Like probably like even Ryan.
Ryan?
The little kid that has the toy line. He's like 5. But you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, that one's gone over my head too, Steve. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You're not missing much. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Can you pull up the picture that Blue put in chat, please?
Can you copy it into the VMix chat? Because I cannot.
Yes, I can. Because... Oh my goodness. Thank you, Blue. Blue, the MVP of this stream. Coming through.
I'm getting a little nervous.
You cannot tell me that isn't a coincidence. Or that it is just a coincidence.
Wow.
Like, look.
Luke Paul. Oh my God, Steve. I can't. I guess it is. Luke Paul, everybody. Watch out.
Oh my God.
Ooh. Wow, that's crazy.
See, it's probably a good thing that we're cutting off here at season 5. Lonzo and LaMelo Ball would probably make the season 6 roster.
Dude, I'm down for some LaMelo Ball in Street Fighter 5.
Like, no.
Sean. Have him play Sean. Like, you could just give him Sean's moveset. There you go. But make him a little better, please.
Just a little, though, not much.
Yeah, just a little. But yeah, so Luke Paul, that's whatever, every time we talk about this character, that's what he's called from now on in this show. That's a rule.
It's canon.
That's a rule. It's canon. That's Luke Paul, the third of the Paul brothers. Watch out for his YouTube channel where he inconveniences everybody around him and causes lots of problems. Oh, sorry. I needed to. I need to digest Luke Paul a little bit more because that's crazy. All right, Steve. I think that was about it for the Street Fighter V update. What are your overall thoughts? What do you think about Oro, Akira, Luke Paul?
I think you've got two pretty good characters. Regardless of where they end up in the tier list, I think you've got some entertaining stuff that you're going to be able to get your hands on in the form of Akira and Oro. And Luke's also a thing. Can we just, the final character of Street Fighter 4 was Seth, or at least the final boss was. The final character in Street Fighter 5 is Luke.
Well, no, the final character of Street Fighter 4 was DiCaprio.
Well, no, I meant the final boss. There's just so many plain names that I don't know. Like if you saw Seth, you wouldn't necessarily think that's a Seth. I kind of wish they gave him a last name, like Luke
Paul,
something other than Paul, because that would be a lawsuit, or like L Paul or something. And then
he does want to be like
swap his name with Oro. It'll all make sense.
He doesn't want to be like M. Bison, so give him L. Paul. M. Bison in Japan is Balrog. There you go. Put that one together. Luke Fox. Who's Luke? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Lucius Fox, who's Batman's tech guy.
I think that's a Steve Fox reference.
Steve Fox. I like that. He did, you know what? That's pretty good.
Your mind kind of went there. When you first
pretty
saw
good.
it.
That is pretty good.
We have other things to talk about tonight.
Luke Paul is forever ingrained in my brain. That's it.
I'm sorry.
That's it. But all right, Steve, I think, so along with the new Street Fighter V update, along with the new Best of 5 Summer update, we've decided to bring something back from the past. Just like Street Fighter V brought back Akira and Oro. And Steve, you know what time it is?
I think it's time to make a decision. Are you going to block or grab?
We're going to go to block grab. Okay, that was supposed to have more audio, but I forgot to do the thing.
I forgot how quiet that was.
Okay,
that was why we did the sound effects.
Hold on. Here you go. There we go. All right, welcome to Block Grab, the segment that somehow never dies. Now, we've reworked Block Grab, so here's how this is going to work for everybody. From now on, every time we watch trailers, any new trailer out there, we're blocking and grabbing it. Anything new, we're blocking and grabbing it. So let's go ahead and start with the new trailers of this week. And again, it's a shame that Sharpie's not here because we're going to start with the first one.
Umbrella. Finally, some real action.
Oh, there you go.
Obviously not a ton there. Just a little peek at an early form of Umbrella.
I thought this was a trailer, so I'm going to block. I genuinely thought this was a trailer.
Here's the thing. Have you ever seen that Skullgirls comic where Umbrella and Parasol are out and Umbrella's eating ice cream?
Nope.
Well, there's this comic where Parasol's eating ice cream. Like, I eat ice cream. I only eat ice cream when I'm sad. And Parasol says, well, you eat ice cream every day. And then it just goes back to Parasol. Or to Umbrella. Just kind of gazing off into the distance. Her eating ice cream makes me think she's sad. And I don't like sad. I don't like seeing her sad. I want to just give her a big hug and let her know it's okay. So I'm going to block. I'm grabbing the character, but blocking... I'm blocking sad Umbrella.
Okay.
I'm blocking the sadness.
Blocking the sadness. All right, chat. I'm going to take a poll from you guys right now. Hit me with it. Spam block or spam grab? What do you guys think of that trailer? Well, I'm going to sit here and we're going to wait until I see at least 3 blocks or grabs. Go.
You can hit us up with the emote BoV block or BoV grab. If you are a subscriber, which if you're not a subscriber, it'd be cool if you were a subscriber.
If you have Amazon Prime and you dislike the overlords at Amazon, why don't you go ahead and use that free sub on here? Because you're going to forget about it, and then it's just money wasted. All right? So might as well just use it here because you're going to forget about it. There we go. We got 2. We got to wait for one more blocker grab. Blue says grab. Oh, HK Solinero says grab. And Kwanzai says block because she heard squiggly. So there you go. Double grabs on the chat. Double blocks. We got another grab from that mean scene. Thank you, everybody, for playing block grab with us. Now, that's only the first trailer, Steve. You ready for this next trailer?
I am ready for this, I think.
Okay.
Depending on which one this is.
Oh, it's Akiha Tohno. Who is Akiha Tohno, you might ask? It's another Melty character. September 30th on sale.
Can you go back to I think it was 20-second mark? 25 seconds?
25 seconds? It's about...
Or so.
Here.
She did a basic... Here it is. That looks so nasty.
Oh, you mean the block? Okay. Here, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's look at it again. The cross-up.
Yeah. I am personally disgusted. That is an absolute grab. She looks a lot of fun.
Yeah. I agree. No, I'm going to grab as well, just because I'm not a Melty Blood person. I haven't played the older Melty Bloods, but even I know the Circle of Doom when I see it. The red circle, I've seen it before from watching Melty just bypassing. So the fact that that's back, big ups. Grab from me. Let's see, we got some grabs in the chat from Blue. We got, well, actually, Blue went with a command grab. That's a lot of, it's a lot of commitment there. Kwanzai is grabbing. Cue Ball is grabbing. Who's that? Muckmaster is blocking. And HK Solinero is grabbing. So overall, grabs all around with one block. One countercultural person in our chat. We love to see it.
It will never be unanimous.
It will never be unanimous. Oh, there we go. Burger and Gyros is blocking as well for a generic costume. Big ups. All right. What are you going to say, Steve?
I'm preparing myself for this next one.
Okay.
I'm preparing.
All right. We all ready?
I think so.
Here we go. Oh, she's back. It's Athena. Hey.
There it is.
Yeah, and she's got the Spirit Bomb. That's the same super that Oro has in Street Fighter V. That's crazy. Sorry for the ticker there, but Super Heroine. So Athena's back. I'm not even waiting. I'm grabbing. I'm a Psycho Ball stan. if you will. Am I speaking the language of the hip, young people, yet? I'm a fan of the Psycho Ball. Steve?
Well, here is my in-depth Psycho Ball thoughts on a Psycho Ball. Like, I am not looking forward to going to locals and just hearing the Athena mirrors. I just no. It's going to give me nightmares. The character is great in every aspect except hearing that Psycho Ball.
That's the best part.
Block.
I am offended.
Armor.
I am offended. All right, so Steve's blocking, I'm grabbing, because Steve is wrong. Who else? Blue is grabbing, Crimson is grabbing, Q-Ball is blocking, because even though he'll probably play her in 15, you'd like to see someone come to the game that wasn't in 14. Ryo Ayanami says, I guess I'll grab. And then Blue says Psycho Ball.
No, Blue,
and,
why? Why, Blue?
And we got Solanero blocking, and we got Muckmaster grabbing. And I'm wondering, okay, I only saw one Psycho Ball in the chat. We're going to have to talk. We're going to have to talk about that in the future chat. Not enough Psycho Balls in there. But with all that said...
Too many Psycho Balls.
With all that said, that's going to do it for this version of Block Grab. So, as always, we're going to play the thing again because we're going out of Block Grab. So that has been Block Grab. I forgot to reset the thing. So anyway, moving on. We're getting there. It's a lot of changes. It's a lot of changes. Before we get into our final topic of the night, that we have 15 seconds, 15 minutes. Whoa, that would have been bad. We have 15 minutes to discuss. Let's bring up a couple of things that also happened this week that we couldn't quite fit on our show, but we still want to make room for. So we're gonna do it now. Smash Ultimate Summit 3 was announced. Steve,
let's talk a little bit about Smash because we had a couple big news stories come out. Smash Ultimate Summit 3, if I can string those words together properly, was announced. That is, of course, the in-person 16-person invitational. Takes place in the Summit House. They do a lot of fun and games, and then the last day is that big high stakes tournament. They did announce that the first players, who were going to be invited, DeBuzz, Ken, Meister, Mars, MK Leo, Tweak, and Zach Ray were all extended invitations, as well as Dark Wizzy and Spargo. These are players who won qualifiers earlier, before Smash Summit was postponed originally. There will be one more qualifier, and that will be determined later this month at Mega Smash Monday number 240. Not 239, not 241. Don't do it. If you come to 239, you're too early. Go to 241, you've missed it. It's got to be 240. And then, as always, for any of these these Summit events, there will be 6 players who get in via a public vote. You can vote on Smash.gg. If you complete sponsor quests, follow them on Twitter, you get more votes. And the process, nominations just went live today. This year, you can only nominate players from North America, so U.S., Mexico, and Canada, due to limitations on international travel due to this little thing called COVID. You might not have heard of it. So, nominations live now, and then Friday, voting will begin, and they will narrow those nominees down to 6 who get in to the summit itself.
for sure. And, Steve, you just talked about COVID. I know Austin is just hitting the threshold for stage 5 again, so thanks, Austin. That was a sarcastic clap for those of you that don't know. Along with this sad news, or along with the happy news, we still have some sad news. Along with with the whole pandemic thing, Steve, don't we?
We do. The Big House, for the second year in a row, has had to cancel due to COVID. This is one of the biggest Smash events of the year, running out of Michigan by the UM Smash crew. They took to Twitter to state that, quote, the Big House event will unfortunately not happen in person in 2021. In February, we were forced to either commit to or relinquish our venue due to the lead time required by large-scale convention centers. With the health and well-being of our community in mind, it was too early to commit to a date with the uncertain trajectory of COVID-19 and vaccinations at that time. Because of this, we've canceled tentative plans for 2021. Thank you for your incredible support during the circumstances of this past year. The Big House staff appreciates the community so much. We hope you continue to follow us and the other amazing events happening in the meantime, and to see you here again in 2022. End quote. Now remember, this was an event that not only had their offline event canceled due to COVID, but they tried to run an online event that utilized Slippy, a way to play Melee online, and that was hit with a cease and desist order from Nintendo. So obviously they left the door open for some sort of online event, but we don't know what, if any, shape that will take. But it is unfortunate, and like you said, we're seeing rises in certain areas across the country. We may be seeing more of these, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's... What was it? It was like, I know Texas and Florida seem to be in a pretty bad state as far as this COVID or the Delta variant is concerned. I know there are other places that, due to politicizing of a health issue, are also becoming like epidemic centers for this epidemic.
I have so many thoughts on here that I am going to keep to myself because this is a fighting game show. We've only got 8 minutes.
And we need to talk about this, the last topic of the night. Go for it.
Can I mention one thing about the Street Fighter update, because I forgot to mention it while we were talking about it?
Go for it.
They did announce more info on the upcoming season of Street Fighter League.
Oh, yeah, that's
if you'll
right,
remember. Yeah, if you'll remember, it ran in the U.S. and Japan. We just almost wrapped up the third season because that finale did not take place. That was one of the other events postponed due to COVID. We did get a little clarification on that. So that finale will take place in September between Alpha 3 and Nasser Esports. And then the month after that, in October, the 2021 U.S. League begins. They did announce the 6 teams that will take place. Nasser and UYU will return. They will be joined by Bandits, Giants, Nordavind, and PG.
Wow.
So you're looking at 6 actual esports teams now, as opposed to, a handful of esports teams and a mix of and some community-made teams, I guess. I don't know how to describe them. They also announced that the Japanese League is starting up again for 2021. There will be qualifying and scouting events that start later this month. There will be a live draft where the captains get to pick which players are going to be on their team. And then that, like the U.S. League, will begin regular play in October.
For sure. I think it's very interesting that in the North America US portion of this, they're emphasizing already established esports teams. And in the Japanese version of Street Fighter League, they're emphasizing the community, right? Like with all of these like scouting events, right? Where I think they're going to have an event where a bunch of people can sign up. And then these drafts where people can get picked. I think it's a very different emphasis.
It was a different emphasis. Remember, you had back in season 1 in the U.S. League, you had a pro player and then an amateur, or I forget exactly how that, or no, community voted players who got in.
Yep.
Yeah, so
remember the Messi Arturo scandal?
What comes after 3? 5.
5.
Yeah. But no, it seems like the U.S. League it's gotten more into a purely competitive format in these last couple seasons, especially. But it does feel like the North American League has been treated more like a team event, a team battle, whereas the Japanese League is treated more as like almost a league, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
I think there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with either format.
No,
it's just a matter of what you like.
Yeah, and I do think it's very interesting that, on one side, open brackets, scouting tournaments, live drafts. On the other side, who's a professional, right? And like you said, past Japan SFLs have been. I think they're just trying the formats that they have already tried in Japan on a different section to see how it goes. And I can't wait to see what comes out of it. Now, Steve, we have 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and cover this last topic because I think it's one of those things where we both agree on this and there's not going to be a lot of discussion. So, Steve, why don't you tee this up for us?
Well, this is, I don't want to talk so much about the specifics of this. Because if you'll note, if you were on Twitter a couple days ago, Guilty Gear Strive was trending. And, it's a relatively new game. It's not a surprise. The reason it was trending was because one player gave their thoughts on the current state of Strive, and everybody had strong opinions on it. So SonicFox tweeted out earlier this week, quote, "Gonna keep it a stack, but I have zero motivation to play Strive lately. Haven't been enjoying the game as much as I hope to," end quote. And that set off a cavalcade of responses, people who were super in favor of the game, who love it, people who don't love it as much as they thought they would, people who've never loved it. I don't care so much about the opinion, but what kind of jumped out to me is this idea that so many people want to declare a game dead instantly. Either it's the top game or it's dead. For me, I feel like that is just not. It's not sensible. And maybe I'm on Twitter, so maybe I should know that you shouldn't expect sensible on social media all the time. But every game is going to have people who like it. Every game is going to have people who dislike it. What's interesting to me is I feel like this can sort of color and sort of influence how the game gets updated, because it is so easy to see any sort of opinion on what people think is wrong with the game, as opposed to 10 years ago, 8 years ago. So I know we're not going to have as much time to talk about this as we like, because it's already 7:29. But what were your thoughts on this whole situation?
Well, it's simple. Sonic doesn't like or isn't as drawn to the game as they hoped they would be. Very reasonable thing to say, right? It's an opinion. But I think what bothers me is the fact that, and it's like you were saying, you can't find sensible on social media, where they tweet out this opinion and all of a sudden everybody, like, it turns into like this sports team rivalry battle with the yeses and the nos, right? And it's gotten to the point where it's not even about the video game anymore. Like, it's just about people who like agree or disagree, and it just goes into like all of these weird places, all because one person said, "Hey, this is what I think," which is what social media is for. I think it's one of those things where I think people take the word of someone who is a top player to be like life or death in a way, which, I mean, if you usually agree with someone's opinions and they tweet out an opinion, sure, go agree with it. But if it's one of those things where you see someone who is, oh, this person's the best at this game, they don't like it, that means the game is bad. It's like, what kind of conclusion is that to be reached, At the end of the day, it's like if you're playing something and you don't... Sorry, I keep cutting you off. But if you're playing something and that you're not enjoying, you're wasting your time. I mean, granted, different situation with SonicFox since they are a professional video gamer. And they're sponsored and they have to play tournaments. That's perfectly fine. That's the life they chose. And same thing with Punk. Granted, I think Punk's situation was a little bit different because the interviewer specifically asked for his opinion, and he gave his opinion, right? But it's one of those things where it just, the echo chamber of social media, like one person says something and everybody's like, yeah, I agree with it. And then somebody else is like, yeah, I agree with it. And people just get like more and more hyped up about it when all it is just like one opinion, and it doesn't really like, it shouldn't, I feel like it, is it a valid opinion? Absolutely. I don't think it should like be the make or break of a game, though.
Yeah. I think, with some people, it might come off as, parroting, but if you're not a fan of something, there's always that subsection of people who will tell you, oh, it's because you suck at the game, or oh, it's because you're not giving it a chance. And when they see someone who has played a lot, who is very good at the game, say, hey, I'm not really liking it, a lot of people can feel free to say, hey, that validates my opinion. Mm-hmm. That, I shouldn't have a problem feeling this way because that person who is a top player, whose opinion does have influence, feels that way.
Yep. Yeah, I just think it turns into this weird war where it shouldn't need to, and I think that's just the product of social media, which is very unfortunate. Anyway, did you guys know that you can tweet at us at Best of V Show on Twitter?
Yeah. And we will read them. And we want you to tweet at us, especially this week. Give us your thoughts on the look, what you like, what you don't like.
It will make or break the show. It will make or break the show.
It will make or break me, personally. No, we want to do things a little differently. We want to bring you as good of a show as we possibly can. So let us know what you like, what you don't like. We'll look at all of the suggestions you have. We might not take up every one, but we'll at least talk about it. And next week will be hopefully a little better.
Yep. And also, let us know what you think of the Best of 5 Summer update. Unfortunately, we are not a big company like Capcom is, so we don't have the dedicated time to come up with a survey that you can fill out like you can with the Street Fighter V updates. However, much like Steve said, feel free to give us a comment, leave us a comment on the tweeters. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave us a comment here on the YouTubes. If you are alive and you can hear these words, go join us on the Discord. We're going to be much more active on Discord from here on out. It's going to be lots of fun. I haven't spoken to you, Steve, but I do want to do the whole thing where we watch tournaments together. We did that once and it was super fun, and then we never did it again. So we need to bring that back.
Well, we've got a couple tournaments coming up in the next couple weeks that might work out. So We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, so please join us on the Discord. Join us on the socials. We're revamping the show to hopefully make it a better experience for you and for everyone. With all that said, Steve. Now, I feel like I need to explain this because I feel like the newer generation of people in the FGC, and I say this as someone who is an 013er, don't know the meme, but back in the day, ballroom streams with Team Spooky, he would always play the Rikio thing called where he would punch a hole in the wall and say, "You're all free now." Right? So that's why that's titled "You're All Free Now." So, with all that said, that's the end of Best of 5. You're all free now. I can beat every single one of you in a fighting game. Don't at me. I've been Ilan. This is Steve. I pointed in the wrong direction. Follow him at Ace King Offsuit Jurek on the Twitters. We'll be back for you next week with more of new Best of 5 stuff. Steve, any last words?
Just 2. Good night, Canada.